Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm making a flower pot card. Now I've made two previously. These are for team members who have joined my team in the last couple of weeks. I've had 3 join me, which is fantastic. So I've done these beautiful cards. Now this one is Lemon Lime Twist and Shaded Spruce, and this one here is Melon Mumbo and Granny Apple Green. And I think these turned out absolutely gorgeous. I've used the Lemon Lime Twist ruffle ribbon here, and this one is Melon Mumbo cotton ribbon. Now it's a retired ribbon, but it was the only colour, the only Melon Mumbo ribbon that I had in my stash, so I went with that. And this little tag says hi, and that's from the Coffee Cafe stamp set, and it just opens up and I can write inside it. I think this turned out really cute. You see this stitched edging down here? This is from a new set that's in the holiday catalogue, so I'll show you that today as well. So for the next card, I'm using Fresh Fig and Old Olive, and I think these colours look really great together. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out. I have the Fresh Fig ruffled ribbon, and I've also got some Whisper White Baker's thread. The stamp sets are Daisy Delight, Coffee Cafe for the high, and the coffee cup framelits for the tag. And then the new set that I used is the Nothing Sweeter. So this is in the new holiday catalogue that'll be available 5th of next month. And I've just used the dies that come with it. So in the dies, there's 2 of these stitched borders, and I've gone with this one here. So I can't wait to show you a bit more of what I've done with this stamp set and die set. It's a really great set. So we've just used this scalloped stitched frame. The inks are Crumb Cake and Fresh Fig. And I have 2 punches here as well, the Daisy Punch and the Leaf Punch. So I'm starting off with a piece of Crumb Cake cardstock, an A4 piece that's been cut in half. Now for this card I have all the measurements and supplies over on my blog, and you can find my blog in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store. If you're in Australia and you would like to purchase any Stampin' Up supplies you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. And make sure if you do place an order, pop in that Hostess code and I can send you out a free gift. So with the A4 piece, a half an A4 piece, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' trimmer. Open it right up. I'm going to place it in, and I'm going to score at 2 inches, 5 7/8, and then I'm going to cut at 11 1/4. So we're just going to cut that little edge bit off. So just like that. So I'm going to fold. I'm using my bone folder. I'm just going to create that nice sharp edge, and then I'm going to fold this one back and just score over that one as well. So the next what we're going to do at the bottom, where it opens up at the bottom here, we're going to pop that in the trimmer, and I'm going to make a mark at 1 inch. So just with this scoring blade, I'm going to make that mark. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm also going to put it at the 1 inch mark, so 1 inch on either side, and then just place that mark there. So you can see one here and another one just here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, and from our score mark here, we're going to cut from the score line to that mark there, and then the same for the other side. And that just makes our little flower pot. Line that all up. There we go. And then the other side. Beautiful. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Big Shot in and this dot here, and we're going to create that edge along there. So let's bring the big shot in. I'm going to open it up, and I'm just going to, because this is a little bit wider than our cutting mat, so I have to put it on the side. There we go. Now I'm using a piece of washi tape just to try and keep that in that area. I don't want any of these dies to slip out because it'll break the die as I run it through. There you go, making sure that not any of that part is sticking out. I'm going to run that through, and because the die is on the angle as well, that helps that it won't buckle. So taking this off, and that's what we're left with there. I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut along those marks there. Now, I could have probably had that die up just a little bit further up, but that's okay, it still worked out well. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to make a mark where that flower pot starts there. Oop. So both on both sides, so I know where it starts. And then I'm going to bring in the Stampin' trimmer again, and I just want to slice off a little of this backing. So I'm lining up that mark that I've just made, and I'm just going to slice off a little. And I'm doing the same on the other side. There we go. And that's just so when we put our flowers down, we don't see the backing. Okay. So we're going to bring in the crumb cake ink, and I've got a sponge dauber, and I'm just going to sponge all my edges there. I'm also going to do the top of that pot there. And you don't have to do this, this just gives it a little bit more depth to the pot. You could also use a sponge, so if you wanted to, if you have sponges and don't have the sponge daubers, sponge would work just as well. Okay, so just like that. Oh, and the bottom. Did not forget the bottom. Beautiful. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in our fresh fig and also the daisy stamp, and I need to stamp and punch 6 flowers, so I also have to bring in my mat as well. So there's 3. So we need 2 petals for every flower. Just gives it that nice full look. So there we go. So I'm going to use the punch and punch that out. Okay, so I have all those punched out. Now I'm going to bring in the leaf punch, and I need 5 of these leaves. Okay, so I'm going to glue these, each of those 2 petals together to create a flower, and all we're doing is we're just putting them off center so it creates a nice full bloom. So there's our flowers there. With the leaves, what I've done is I've just created a little bit of extra dimension with them, with the stylus and with the Stampin' Pierce mat. So what I did is I put these leaves onto the mat, and then just using the stylus, I've just went over the middle bit with each one and then just popped them in half, just to give them that little bit extra dimension. I'll do that with all of them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop these flowers all together. So on 2 of the flowers I have two leaves on each one, and then on one I just have the single one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and position that leaf in there. Add another bit of glue.
I love this daisy punch. Look how pretty that is. Okay.
So that's that one done. All our flowers are done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to position my flowers. So I actually want the 2 to go underneath the pot, and then the one in the middle we're going to have pop up over the top, and it'll be sort of like our catch for our closing of the flower pot. So I'm just going to glue these flowers straight down. And bringing a dimensional in, I'm going to stick dimensional in the middle, and popping that one down over the top there. Now I'm going to bring in that bit of fresh fig. I'm going to stamp the high. Taking that die for the little tiny label there, just going to pop that through the big shot. And that turned out really cute. So bringing the ruffled ribbon in, just going to pop it underneath the flower pot there. And because this is ruffled ribbon, it has quite a bit of bulk to it. We're not going to do a bow, we're just going to do a straight knot. There we go. Chopping those ends off. I'm also going to put a glue dot underneath that knot just to keep it down in that spot. There we go. I'm also using a bit of the Whisper White baker's twine. I'll try and pop that through the hole, and I've found it's easier with the piercing tool, popping that through. I'm just going to pop that under that ribbon and tie it in a knot. All fingers everywhere this morning, sorry about that. So I've just done a double knot there, and get rid of that excess. I'm going to try and slip that in underneath the ribbon. That knot can go underneath the ribbon. I'll pick up a glue dot. Going to attach it to that knot of the baker's twine and then stick it in and underneath that ribbon. There we go. So now it just sits nicely in place there. I'm also going to stick a dimensional underneath that flower pot lid, so it still keeps it up a little bit, gives it that dimension, but it holds it down at the same time. So for the middle of these flowers, I used the clear faceted gems. And they are here. And I used the bigger ones and just put one in the middle of each flower. Okay, so that's my flower pot card. I hope you've enjoyed this card tutorial. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Don't forget to check out my blog where all the measurements and supplies can be listed as well. And if you would like to join my team, I'll put that in the description of this video as well, because I would love to have you. Alright, until next time, have a good day. Bye.